everything else. My name is Joy.
And my name is Cheryl. Joy and I are two very old friends who love to talk about murder and everything else.
By the time this episode is released, this will be old news, obviously. But it's all over, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, the news feeds. But a CEO of a company named Astronomer was caught on a jumbotron at a Coldplay concert canoodling with the head of his HR department, and it was not his wife. And he was standing with his arms around her. She had her head back on his chest. It was obvious that it was like a very sexual
It was
relation.
not platonic.
Yeah. So, and then they flashed up on the jumbotron, and as soon as they realized they were up there, the guy hits the deck and goes one direction and she goes another direction, and a friend of theirs who they're with is like laughing, and Chris Martin says, "Oh, they don't want to be on the jumbotron, maybe they're having an affair." And it turns out that is indeed the case. He has a wife and children. She has a wife and children, or a child. And
she has a wife?
Sorry, she has a husband
no,
and a
that
child.
was cool. I just didn't know.
It's like, it kind of opens up this bigger picture on marriage and extramarital affairs and cheating and work trips. And
I wonder how many conversations that incident spawned. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody's talking about what if that was somebody you knew?
Yeah.
What if that was your husband or your wife? What would you do? Well, we have discussed this before we started recording, and you know what my thoughts are, right? I did feel a little bad for them. I did. I was shocked, and I kind of laughed and was like, uh-oh, yikes, sucks for them. But I put myself in their shoes, not saying like I would be caught on a jumbotron with hey, what do you call a miss? So there's mistress, and then what is the male version of that? Mister? These are the things that keep me up at night.
Bro. It's a broster.
Okay, well, I'm not saying that I'm caught on a jumbotron with a guy that's not my spouse. But just put yourself, just compare it to you being in a vulnerable, whatever the vulnerable situation is. You bend down and you don't have any underwear on, which Joy does often. Or I'm 8 years old and I'm stealing a candy from the store. And imagine
I'm driving away and the cops chase you down and pull out their gun.
If you listen to our two truths and a lie, I ran from the police, or I drove away. So I would not want that caught and
that's
displayed
not
to
vulnerability.
the world.
That's dirt baggery. I'm sorry. It's not vulnerable to be caught on a jumbotron canoodling with your head of HR. That's conducting an affair in the broad daylight and expecting to get away with it. And also the other thing I just have to say is, for example, here's what I would consider a vulnerability. I can tell I have a bat in the cave, and every time I breathe in and out, I can feel it. It's wiggling. And so I stick my finger in there, no one's looking, to pull it out. And then all of a sudden I'm on the jumbotron and everyone sees me digging out a big fat one.
I've never heard the bat in the cave.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's the vulnerability. I feel like he was, not him, but him and her. I feel like they were very cavalier about their relationship, taking it to a concert, and they got caught with their pants down around their ankles. And now the sad part is it affects the ripples are obviously spreading wider. It affects his family, his children, affects her family, her children, and who knows where the ripples will end. But I'll tell you what, he's resigned from his job. She'll probably have to resign as well. And they didn't disclose this relationship to their, company. And now they don't have to, because guess what? Everybody on the planet's seen it.
Would you consider this karma?
I don't know about that, because I feel like karma is, first of all, Karma's the name of like our family member's dog. So I feel really bad pinning it on her. But the other thing I have to say is I don't necessarily know if I believe in karma because I know really, really good people that bad stuff's happened to and really bad people that good stuff's happened to. So I don't know if I really believe in karma. You know?
Well, and I'm not saying that what they did was right. I'm just a little part of me, a little part of my bleeding heart was like, oh, that's I don't know. It's
I don't know.
now
I mean, obviously, none of us are perfect.
Exactly.
I mean, he that is without sin, let them cast the first stone.
Exactly.
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw rocks. I mean, there's a saying for everything. And obviously, we've all, like, gotten our nose dirty or been caught with our pants around our ankles. But that was a big one. That's a big one. That's not like stealing gum when you're 8. That's not like, that's not like cheating at your taxes and getting found out 3 years later and now you owe the IRS $500.
I get it, but a part of me just feels like, I don't know, that's their business.
But it's not. It's everybody's business. I guess we could like rehash this over and over again.
Because we also don't know. Okay, remember that? So you heard in the news story, a woman was robbed at the ATM, and you were like, I need more information. Like, was she at gunpoint? Was she assaulted?
But we also didn't see the video, but we've all seen the video of this.
No, but your thing was, there's more to this story, right? That was you're thinking that I need more information. So I'm just saying we don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying what they're doing
she had
is
just
right.
lost a loved one and he was comforting her.
Yeah, I'm not
comforting
saying
her breasts and her neck. I love when you comfort that part of my neck that makes me scream for God.
I'm not saying what they did was right. I'm just saying we don't know. We don't know anything.
I find it so interesting. If I had told you a story about a guy who had a dog that he was using for dog fighting, you'd have strung him up and wrung him out. But you're so sympathetic of this couple.
No, I'm not sympathetic. Okay, don't get me wrong. Them having an affair is not right. The act of them being caught on camera and the world now just treating them like, they're just a big joke and they're fodder for content creators and meme makers and that's unfortunate for them.
It is unfortunate for them and even more unfortunate for their families.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, for sure. But
if you guys have an opinion on this, write to us or text us or call us or TikTok us or Blue Sky us or Instagram us or Facebook us. I don't really care. Pick your poison and let us know, or just old school email us and let us know what you think.
I guess I just want to say one more thing. I guess most people are like, well, that's what they get.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's right.
As I get older, it's hard for me to take that position.
Huh. And she's old. She's like so fucking old. She's older than me. She's older than you. She's older than us all.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, on that note, we need to get into our updates. And I know that you guys all are dying to know, and so am I, but we need an update, Cheryl, on your wasp stings. How is Patient Zero?
Patient Zero is she's good now. I'm not scratching. I'm actually scratching from other bites.
She's only scratching from the herps. She's scratching from the crabs.
It turns out I am very delicious to insects and anything that bites.
Give me some.
I just hope I don't come in the vicinity, a close proximity to an alligator, because they'll probably like my blood too.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so after the itching from the wasp stings subsided, say that 10 times
wasp
fast.
Stings subsided. Wasp stings subsided. Wasp stings subsided. Okay, I'm done. I only needed to say it 3 times.
And now that we know wasp is now wops. Yeah, that started to subside. I went and I had to get medication. Do you know this over the counter stuff? I
know.
think it's all a scam.
Yeah,
What do you
that
guys
happened
think?
when I got a rash downstairs. I got an over-the-counter cream, and
Does
first of all, where are
nothing.
you supposed to start and stop to put that cream on? Like, you can't do it in the car because the trucks are looking at you. You can't do it like you have. I mean, and then also it subsides for like a 20 seconds, and then you just start
Literally.
scratching again.
I tried like 3 different things,
Yeah, she's been scratching all over the
and it
place.
did not work. I had to eventually give in and go to the doctor and got a steroid. Actually, it was that bad. He was like, he said to his assistant, "Yes, so we're past the ointment stage." And proceeded to write a prescription for
Oh
prednisone.
my gosh.
Yeah, but then after that subsided, I started getting all these other bites. So I have to just,
It's fresh blood. That's what it is.
I have
It's
to
fresh blood.
accept that I am.
The critters here are not used to her and her juiciness. And in other news, update wise, I'm not allowed to suck on Jolly Ranchers anymore while we podcast.
You're welcome, everyone.
So,
You're welcome.
Yeah, it
You
turns
don't have-
out that
you don't
nobody
have to-
wants to hear that, like rattling around and slurping, even though the grape Jolly Ranchers are so delicious. I have been stopped.
Yes, so we sincerely apologize.
She does.
We let her out in the wild for a while, and I think for two episodes, you might have heard Joy sucking on
They
a
were
Jolly
so
Rancher.
good.
Hey, if Jolly Rancher or Halls want to send us some free stuff,
Yeah, if you guys want to
We
sponsor us,
are-
we're totally down.
just
Just like with the Visine people, remember?
yeah. But
And the Ricola people, they haven't reached out either.
yes,
I feel like I need to tag them in some kind of like
yes, we have
meaningful
promoted
way.
them. We've given them free advertising since our road trip.
That's right. So Cheryl, you got any updates?
I do have an update that the gag order has been lifted in the Brian Koberger case, or whatever. He pleaded guilty, so in a couple of days he's going to be sentenced. So the gag order lifts, law enforcement and family and everybody involved from not talking. So they were gagged; they couldn't talk about certain things. So that's lifted. Also, as we speak, and I'm going to check it before we conclude this recording, because Stefan Stearns is
Live updates.
We released it 2 weeks later, but Stefan Stearns is in court right now, possibly pleading guilty, taking a cue from Koberger, and it's going to plead guilty to the murder of Madeline Soto.
Wait, wasn't that in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they don't have firing squad down there.
Well, I think he wants to avoid the death penalty because, his case is even more slam dunk than Koberger's. So he would be facing the death penalty probably.
Because they had so much evidence on him. Although I have to tell you that Brian Koberger, they say how intelligent he is and how he was a PhD student and he studied forensics and blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, but I feel like it's just like, if you're going to leave, it's the trail. It's always the trail.
It's so interesting because he thought he was so smart, right? Because he had a PhD and he was studying to be a criminologist or whatever. And you cannot plan every single thing out. Because here's the thing, you can't plan out you can only plan what you're going to do. You're not taking into account all the other factors, all the other people, how they're going to react, whatever. And so thank goodness he left his knife sheath behind. So in all his planning, he did not plan for that, and that's what brought him down.
Do you think he planned to kill her that night? Do you think maybe he also had some other, maybe I'll try to talk to her, maybe I'll try, but remember she had a friend over and, like.
No, I think, this is my opinion. First of all, at the plea hearing, the prosecution said, and I, for one, am really bothered that he said this. He said there was no sexual assault involved in the crime. And I beg to differ. I listened to Gisela K, Grizzly True Crime, and she made a really good point that
His murder, the murder
was
itself
motivated.
was motivated sexually.
But just because maybe he couldn't get that far, but just because there were no sexual assault signs does not mean it's not sexually motivated.
Right. But that you can't really, I mean, unless, like the motivation for that though, you can't. Although I did read somewhere that his pornographic tastes and search
was violence against women.
Was sexual violence against women. And there is a huge like kink community out there that is into like tying up and bondage and restraint and some of it is very graphic and disturbing. And so it makes me wonder, like, well, I mean, they've got obviously all of his computer stuff and everything, so.
Yeah, they had a lot, and that's why he pleaded guilty. But in my opinion, he was going there to kill her and then didn't know that Kaylee was there in the bed, and then ran into Xana and Ethan. That's my opinion. He went there to kill.
You know what's really interesting, you guys? Cheryl and I actually don't talk about murder outside of this podcast very often. Isn't that funny?
That is true, huh?
It's true.
We save it all for you.
We do.
You guys.
We save it for you guys. Anywho, thanks for that update, Cheryl. That was really interesting. Interesting! All right. Rolling on to shout outs. I have a shout out for my friend the Andersons, who we went to dinner with this weekend and who bought a brand new fancy electric truck. And it was not one of those dumpster fire trucks made by that guy from South Africa. It was another kind of fancy truck.
What are you talking about?
Those trash compactors? They look like they don't have windows. They look like tanks.
Oh, yeah.
They're so ugly.
Who are they made by?
By Elon Musk. Oh, okay. That guy from South Africa. Anyway. What? Anywho, if you have an electric car, it starts with an R. It's one of those. It's a Rivian, I think. Roomba.
A Roomba.
A Roomba. If you are riding a Roomba, then you should probably stop. But anyway, we went to this amazing Laotian place in Raleigh, and it was good food, great company. When we came out of the restaurant, it was raining. And, it's summer, so it was like a hot kind of, well, not hot, but warm, drizzly rain. I was freezing in the restaurant.
Of course.
I should have taken a wrap.
Of course.
And I didn't. My sleeves, my arms were exposed, so I was freezing.
You guys, it was 82 degrees.
It was so freaking cold in there. I don't know why they have to turn the air so... Like right now, I'm wearing basically a blanket and a parka.
She's not lying.
But the food was amazing and the company was great. So thank you, Andersons. If you're looking for good eats and a cute environment, go check out this Laotian place called Bita Manda. But I will say they had these cute little orange metal chairs. Why do restaurants put uncomfortable little metal chairs in when you're going to be sitting there for at least an hour and a half?
Because if they put like a recliner or a sofa, you would never leave.
Well, listen to this. So we went to a restaurant not too long ago with friends, and I think it was with Doreen and Chris. And
hey, Doreen and Chris.
And they came over to us and said, hey, so your dinner reservation was for an hour and a half and that time is kind of coming to... Oh, yeah. They kind of gave us like you're going to have to go
boot.
soon. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they have to turn the table.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
Well, and also, what if the people behind, they had a reservation? Then what do you tell them? Like, I'm sorry, but the people...
I'm sorry,
There's
but
a lady that's
I
chatting
worked
it up.
in food service. You do not
I know.
you stagger your reservations with the knowledge that maybe somebody will have to wait 5 or 10 minutes for a table to get turned, but you never
I know.
ever give the
That's
people sitting
ooh.
the boot, or you don't give them the indication that they're going to get the
Okay,
boot.
let me ask about the chairs. How were the chairs there?
They had these little metal. Okay,
The place that they kicked you out, was it super comfortable? Because that just
Yeah.
supports my theory.
Yeah.
That if the chairs are too comfortable, they
You might
can't get
stay.
you. Yeah.
But the thing
past
is-
your allotted time.
Well,
That's
I gotta
why
tell you,
the
and
metal
now I
orange
don't even
chairs.
know if it was with Chris and Doreen. Hey, Chris and Doreen, I don't know if you guys were there, but if you were there, you should let me know, because I feel like I was with you, and I was like, I don't recall.
Okay, but did you dig your heels in, or did you go, okay,
No,
oh, so sorry, and then you got up?
But after the server walked away, I was just kind of like, so I guess that means we have to go now? Like, we're not allowed to sit and lick the plates and giggle and, like, try to sober up? No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
but you know what I
feel
mean? It just was
uncomfortable
like-
after staying after
Yeah,
that.
and
I
also
mean,
I guess my next center reservation will be made for 8:30, because no one's after 8:30
Right,
plus
you'll
an
be the
hour and a half
last.
is gonna be 10 o'clock, and guess what? No one's being seated at 10 o'clock. That's already like the restaurant's closed down.
Yeah.
And then I guess we can stay as long as we want and leave whenever and be super obnoxious and laugh it up and ask for extra drinks.
Also, an hour and a half isn't that long.
It's not.
It's not like, so my friend Christine, hey
Hey,
Christine.
Christine.
She and I will sit at a table for 4 hours, but
Yeah, but you guys are going to Taco Bell.
we're also old. So they're very nice to us. No, I'm just-
Well, that's
but
the other thing is,
we're
like,
going
if
to
you
Taco Bell. No, listen.
if you
It's
come rolling into a restaurant for 5 o'clock reservation, they know you're not staying till 10 p.m. You know why? Because people who eat at 5 o'clock will have to pee 3 times
And be in bed by
in
7.
bed by 7:30.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is that you don't have to tell people that they have to leave by a certain time, because
Yeah,
we already know we're old. We're not going to be able to sit. And also, your chairs are so fucking uncomfortable. We can't stay very long.
I will admit, hour and a half is oof.
I just want
Maybe
you to
if
know
it was 2.5 hours.
while I'm talking,
Did you pee?
Callie is licking my ankles and feet, and I have to tell you, it's the most exciting thing that's happened to me in days. It feels so good that if I accidentally start moaning, you'll know why. Anyway, we got to get to the rest of my shout outs, all right?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
And that is, I have another shout out for Vinka, who sold me her old coffee
Hey,
maker because she
Vinka.
got a new one. So we now have steamed milk again.
Oh,
It
Vinka.
is delicious. And to date, we have owned so many coffee makers. I can't even tell you, but if you want to buy a high-end espresso maker, check with me, guys, because I can give you a lot of reviews,
Tips.
all right? Cheryl, you got any shout outs?
I have a shout out to my friend Chris.
Hey,
in
Chris.
Hawaii.
Cheryl has 13 friends named Chris. Chris, Christine, Chris, Crispy, Chris Crispy, Chris, and then there's one that she just calls P.
Well, this is to Chris in Hawaii. Hey,
Hey,
aloha.
mahalo.
Aloha.
Aloha. Hala hala. I don't know, is hala hala something?
I don't know.
Halo halo. Is that
I
something?
don't know.
Mahalo mahalo.
Anyway, she
Ohana means family.
has started listening to us after being on the air. I'm going to call it being on the air. I don't care what anybody says.
Breaker
For
breaker
2.5
1 9. My
years.
name's Cheryl.
She has started to listen to us and calls us great entertainment. She also said we're crazy, but we take that as a compliment. So welcome to the channel and to this. I don't know, what do you call this?
It's a podcast.
I know it's a podcast, but what do you?
Kelly,
Welcome to the
stop
show.
licking my feet.
Welcome to the show, and tell all your friends and family about it.
Make her stop. I don't have a dry patch on my foot. Today, we are heading away from murder. And what we're going to do is we're just going to sit back and we're going to give you guys some life updates, some show updates. We're going to talk a little bit about what we've been doing and what we've been watching. So I'm just going to jump in And I'm going to start with shows because
My favorite.
Cheryl's favorite. And also, I always say Christmas and summer is the good time for shows because, you know, life has a way of just speeding up. But so I'm going to run through like the stuff I've been watching, and then Cheryl's going to run through the stuff she's been watching. The
one thing over and over again.
Yeah, the big thing that we just finished watching was Squid Game. And it's the third season.
And
also,
final.
spoiler alert, if you guys have not seen it and you plan on watching it, do not listen to this.
Oh, don't listen to this.
Or the next episode or the one after that. But Cheryl and I are big Squid Game fans. Big. Number 2, Cheryl's an even bigger Squid Game fan than I am. And number 3, we're going to talk about the show and what happens and what doesn't happen and what we like and what we don't like. So my husband and I just finished that. I'm also watching the Gabby Petito documentary series on Netflix. And I'm going to just kind of tease that I'm going to do an episode on that. For those of you who maybe aren't as familiar, she was the young girl who was trying to do a YouTube channel and traveling in a van with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. And he killed her. And then he went back to Florida and went into the Everglades and basically took his own life, I think.
Yeah.
And then I am still trying to get through And Just Like That.
And I don't know. It's like torture. I don't know. Why are you torturing yourself?
It's because I love Aiden.
Oh, which I don't know. I don't even why. I don't. Why do I ask who it is? I have no idea.
So Carrie Bradshaw had 2 main big loves. The first was Mr. Big.
Okay.
And the second one was Aiden. Mr. Big was a really attractive, daring, like, you know, maybe like the bad boy, and Aiden Shaw was the good guy. And so I just
who's the act? The first one was Chris Noth.
Chris Noth.
Okay, see, I knew that.
John Corbett is. Remember, he was from Northern Exposure. Anyway, he plays Aiden Shaw, and I just love him. He was also in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Let me see.
You know him. He's so incredibly, like, he's the nice guy. And, you know, we all want to see nice guys win.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
right?
He's so cute.
He's so attractive.
Yeah.
So I keep going back to that. Also, I watched The Poop Cruise. There's this series on Netflix called Trainwreck. And then each episode is a different, like, train wreck situation. And the one I watched was Poop Cruise. And I have to tell you that if there was ever any question of whether or not I was ever going to go on a cruise or, that I can tell you that I never will. This has solidified for me forever that cruises are for a different kind of person and not for me. So Cheryl, tell me what you've been watching.
Forever and ever and ever. Amen. I also saw Poop Cruise, and I've never wanted to go on a cruise. And now I know why, because these horrific things can happen. If you guys haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's about a cruise ship that loses its power because one of the engine rooms catches fire, and the toilet system is powered by electricity. Therefore, they cannot flush the toilets. So, I don't want to spoil anything.
They
but
also
let me
can't
just
use
say,
the showers. There's no air conditioning. It's so bad.
They're directed to pee in the shower.
Where's she licking my sandals now? Stop.
They're directed to pee in the shower and poop in these biohazard bags.
Oh my God.
So
that
we'll just
is
leave
so
it.
Funny.
We'll leave it at that. But anyway, I watched that, and then
sometimes, you know what? We should try that. We should try pooping in a dog poop bag to see if we can actually get it in there.
You can do that, and I'll watch.
Remember when I said there was a freak off out there for everybody?
So yes, I really love Squid Game. So I have watched season 3 times, and I have watched season 1 and 2 probably 5 times.
Good God.
So I've been watching.
What the fuck have I been doing with all my free time?
I've been watching the same show over and over and over again. But I also, I'm thinking I should just cancel all my streaming subscriptions
and
Joy?
Just buy Squid Game.
No,
and you can watch it, and you can just watch it on loop.
No, do you know what I watch more than anything?
YouTube.
You
guys.
Always
have.
I'm thinking of should and you can also get movies because our Wi-Fi connection was.
Why don't you pay for YouTube TV? It's only like $60 a month, and then you get all like the stuff that comes with it.
No, you guys, TV is crap. You get 7,000 channels.
Watch Jeopardy.
You get 7,000 channels, and you watch 5 of them. Anyway, YouTube also has movies. So when we didn't have a strong Wi-Fi connection the other night, I was able to get on YouTube and watch horror movies. Anyway, on YouTube, I have discovered. I mean, I know they've been around for a long time, but this one Japanese guy, Usui, I think is how you pronounce it. He has a channel called Micro Apartments, and I'm obsessed. So he lives in a micro apartment. You were going
to say micro penises.
Of course you did. He lives.
I was like, I might have to look at that.
This is not for the faint of heart.
Wait, I think I might have dated him.
This is not for the faint of heart. Going and looking and viewing micro apartments, you guys, because if you're claustrophobic, this will just send you into a tizzy. The apartments are so tiny, but he goes around and he looks at all these different apartments for rent. He says he's looking for another micro apartment. I think it's just part of it, what he does on his channel. But I find it fascinating to see how small these apartments are.
Are they all in Japan, or are they all over the world?
No, he just does Japan.
It would be cool if he branched out to other countries.
He may, if he starts, building a following. But anyway, that's what I'm watching. I'm obsessed.
Squid Game and micro penises. That's it. You heard it here, folks.
And poop.
And poop cruise. Cheryl has isolated her viewing options to one part of the body only.
This is actually kind of concerning. I might need professional help.
Might. Anywho, moving on to just some family life updates. We are in the process of getting a kid ready to go to college.
Oh my God.
I know. And full disclosure, it's the baby. So for those of you who have babies and look at them and think, oh my God, someday this child will probably leave to go to college, just know that someday is not that far away. Yeah. It's out there and it's going to happen, and you're going to feel like you snapped your fingers and that child grew up and left.
I can't, I know this sounds so cliche, but it seems like yesterday when they were just little. I remember when Chloe she wasn't even walking yet. She was crawling around on the floor.
It's crazy.
And now she's your older one, so she's been out of the house.
Yeah. I used to do this joke all the time where I'd be like, well, it's time for me to start working on losing the baby weight. And I'd be like, the baby's 14. Now the baby's 18, leaving for college.
Oh my God. So tell us, what's the difference? Is it better since you've already been through it? Or is it worse because now it's your second one?
Yeah,
although I'm here to take her baby's place.
That's
just so
right.
you all know.
I will say this, that if you have one child, obviously you just send that one child off to college, right? Or whatever, they move out. And so you don't go through it more than once. Just like when you have one child, maybe you only had to go through like all those stages once, you know?
Yeah.
Like the toddler stage and the teething stage and the biting stage and the, whatever, all that stuff. Yeah. But it's so interesting because you'd think that it would be easier because you've gone
Been
through
through
it before.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, everybody is a different person. Every person has a different personality. So you're saying you're going through an experience that you've gone through before, but you're going
It's a
through it with a
different
different
child.
person.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a different
Different
relationship.
experience. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
No, it really is interesting.
So yeah, I gotta say that it makes me sad.
Aw,
Yeah,
I don't
it
have
makes
kids, but
me
I can
sad.
imagine this is a huge milestone.
It is.
Both
And
girls are going to be flying
yeah.
the coop.
And
One
also
already
there
did.
is the awareness that maybe they'll come home at some point to stay for a few months or to stay, to put their stuff in my attic or whatever. But it is the beginning of like them launching,
Yeah.
and that also is such a
That's
strange,
huge.
it's a strange feeling
Yeah.
because I don't know. I don't think parents ever get used to the idea of, I mean, like we made that, we don't ever get used to the idea of that person not being an extension of who we are.
But you know what, with you, Joy, you're very fortunate because, and it may not have always been this way. I haven't been here for the 18 or 21 years to watch the entire, journey, but you're not wrapped up completely in being a mom. You have so many other facets to your life that it's not like you're going to be, don't know who you are. You're going to be completely devastated and dead in the water, and you've got to pick yourself up and find. Joy is like the busiest person I know with social activities and seeking things to do. She never sits still, in a good way though. So I think that's going to really benefit you, that you
Well,
have so many other interests.
I think that's so interesting that you say that because I just had this total like brain fart, and that is, so tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of my mom passing away. And I feel like around the time that my mom was diagnosed with lung cancer and, shared with us that she was sick, was when I started doing all these things like picking back up my instrument and taking lessons and looking for an orchestra and starting the podcast with you and just looking for more than just the stuff I was doing at the time. And maybe that was part of me that needed to do that to help me with the grieving process, because there is a process there that you have to go through, with grief. But also maybe a part of me knew that like I had to, like, I don't have parents anymore. But I am a parent. So I need to come up with stuff because I was now, I needed to create something for myself, something that was mine. So maybe that was part of that grieving process that I just realized, okay, I'm going to have to get busy and carve some things out that are just mine,
Yours.
and that don't tie me to this identity of being just like a wife and a mom.
Yeah.
Which I'll always like, that'll always be a part of me.
Of course, that would be probably number one, but it's, you aren't going to be sitting here crying in your coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be a part of you that's sad. That's a huge change to
Yeah.
have both kids out of the house, but your life is so full. Your life is very full. As
Yeah.
an observer, as an outsider,
thanks.
you have a very full life. I'm not
Full of
saying
something.
you're not going to feel, obviously you're going to be sad. It's a huge, like I said, a huge milestone. It's a huge change. But you have so many other things in your life to look forward to each day. And,
Right.
And then you'll get adjusted that they're, both gone.
Yeah. It's so interesting too, because, life is such a cycle. So like we say goodbye to people and sometimes we don't get to see them again. And sometimes we say goodbye and then we do get to see them again.
So after they graduate, they'll move in with you and they'll have their family and kids
That's
living
right.
with you. And
That's right.
You'll just keep building onto the house.
Yeah.
And it'll be
like
one
the
big...
Winchester Mystery House. We'll just have stairs going to nowhere.
It'll be
Thanks,
one
Cheryl.
big happy
And you can help me build
2,
it.
3,
You
4.
want to hold the paintbrush or you want to hold the staple gun? Anywho, for anybody out there who's dealing with grief and the loss of a loved one, just know that there's a lot of us out there who have lost parents. We're in that corridor of age. Our parents have lived longer and longer, but grief is you got to work through it. It's a process. And allow yourself to grieve, because grieving is so important. And then also get some help. If you are going through the grieving process and you feel crazy like I did, get some help, because you don't have to go through it alone. I just also want to say that for those of you who are friends of the show, you know that I'm a nanny. So I will also just throw out there that taking care of little ones is also so healing.
Yeah.
Because they are constantly hanging on me and kissing me and slobbering on me and talking to me, and we sing and we make things and we do things, and it's just like part of the cycle, So It's great. And for me, it's something that helps feed my soul. I can't use any other way to describe it.
No, it's the stories you tell me about the girls that you watch makes me want to go out and get a nanny job, which I'm not going to.
I keep trying to get Cheryl to come and bring Callie so the little girls can see her.
I can do that. But
Aww, and then maybe she'll stay and hold the baby and change a poopy diaper now and then.
End up staying the whole day and playing with the kids.
And then she'll be tired at the end of the day.
No, it sounds adorable though. Really, the stories you tell me are so heartwarming.
They're really, really special. And I have a very special place in my heart for little ones. But I want to also talk about some other things that I am doing. And one is, Cheryl and I have talked about doing an episode on this, and that is these resale websites and thrifting websites. So I have had an eBay store for over 10 years. And so if anyone's interested in knowing a little bit more about what I sell on eBay, hey, hit us up. I'd be happy to send you the links. And I've also sold things on Poshmark. And one of my kids has sold things on Depop. And I've also bought things on ThreadUp and Mercari, but there is a lot of e-commerce sites out there where you can buy used or thrifted items, or, gently used items. And I have to say that, a lot of times when I'm out there thrifting and looking at things, I run into other people who are doing the same thing. They're looking at things and they'll say, like, if it doesn't work out for me, maybe I can, sell it on one of these sites, or maybe I can turn a buck or whatever. But I have to also say that Facebook Marketplace is a place where people are selling things. And the reason I bring that up is my husband recently sold our piano on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge item.
And sells like less than 24 hours.
Yeah. Hotcakes. And you're not having to give anyone money. And that's the other thing is these sites like eBay and Poshmark and Depop and ThreadUp. I don't know about ThreadUp because ThreadUp is an actual thrift store. But the other three, they take a cut of everything that I sell. Mm-hmm. They're facilitating people coming and buying my items, but they haven't done anything besides providing me the platform. So the fact that Poshmark takes 20%, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is.
So if you're selling something, that's $100, remember 20 of those dollars go straight to Poshmark.
So what is the advantage, or why would people not move from places that take a cut of your sales to like Facebook Marketplace?
It's the protection. It's the protection of if they trash the item and send it back and say it was garbage, if they use it and try to give it back and get a refund, it's the protection of these sites. They protect the consumer and they also the buyer, and they protect the seller, so that I don't get scammed, so that I don't get ripped off, so that I don't get lowballed, so that I don't get people, cheating me basically. And and vice versa. As a buyer, it protects me as well. Whereas Facebook Marketplace, you could show up and somebody could stab you. You could show up and
there's
somebody could
nobody
take,
to
exactly.
be held accountable.
Somebody
Except
could,
yourself.
yeah. I mean, if you want to try to stab someone and run away the piano, you're out of luck because you're not going to get very far because the piano weighs 5,000 pounds. But what if you're selling something like, I don't know,
a necklace,
a coffee maker,
yeah,
or you're selling, a guitar? Those are smaller items. You could just snatch it and grab it and run, hit someone in the head with a wooden stick and
okay, we're not giving anyone ideas.
I'm just saying, remember there was this case of the Craigslist murderer?
I know that there's one where the two guys, this guy was selling his truck and he had an inquiry from these two men. And they came to the house and they wanted to take it for a test drive with him. And the wife was like, I don't have a good feeling about this. And yeah, they killed the man.
Well, listen to this. So way, way back in another lifetime when my husband was in vet school, we lived in Davis, California. And my brother had an old car and he gave it to us. And we were really low income. And he said, maybe you can use it. Maybe you could sell it and use the money. He said, I really don't want to deal with it. And it was in bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
The inside was dirty. The ashtrays were full. The electrical panel, there was some stuff that needed repairing. Well, we didn't have the money to repair it. So my husband Googled a bunch of stuff and he fixed it himself. He bought a soldering iron for $2 on eBay or whatever, and he figured out how to solder the electrical panel and he fixed it so that all the lights inside worked and all the electrical stuff worked.
Gosh.
Yeah, talk about thrifty,
resourceful.
And and we listed it on eBay and we sold it. Okay, so here's the part of the story that gets a little bit dicey. What we didn't realize was the guy who had bought it used a stolen credit card to pay for it.
Oh, geez.
So what happened was they bought it. The payment went through. We transferred the payment to our bank account. He showed up. We gave him the keys. We signed over the pink slip and it's his car. He bought it. 24 hours later, 48 hours later, PayPal reaches out to us and says, the card. Now remember, the funds are in our bank account and we didn't have any money. So as you can imagine, that money was gone in less than 12 hours to pay bills, to buy diapers, to go to the grocery store, to pay electric bill, to, at that point in our lives, we had $100, 90 of that dollars went to pay some bill or something or to buy milk or whatever.
Yeah.
So that money was gone. Well, then PayPal reaches out and says, you owe us money because this person used a stolen credit card. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't have a car. So the guy's gone. He's got the car.
Right.
You need to go after him because he's the one who used a stolen credit card. Don't come after us. And also, we've already spent the money. It's gone.
Right. So why would it have been your responsibility? It's not like
I
you
don't
have
know.
a way to check someone's credit.
Exactly. So
what happened?
We closed our PayPal account. And we closed our eBay account and we didn't use it again. I never used that account again. And they stopped coming out. They dropped it. Obviously, if they can't get it from us and they can't get it from that guy, then what are they going to, what are you going to do?
Wow.
At some point, he's going to either wreck the car or get stopped by the police, or he's going to have to get it repaired and it's going to pop up the VIN number as being a lost or stolen vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, he's probably going to have to stand and face the music.
So this was eBay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my question is, because you said earlier the reason people don't use just Facebook Marketplace is the protection. So where does that come into play?
Remember, that was 20 plus years ago.
Okay.
So those protections have been put in place since.
So if that were to happen today, do you know what would happen?
Well, the credit card would be identified probably right away.
Ah.
And if not, I'd ship the item out and they would shut that person down. Mm-hmm. And then they would probably just deal with that person. Because I've not stolen anything.
Yeah, but that person's long gone.
Probably. But then they're also probably not going to pick up their item when it shows up at the mailbox or whatever. The other thing is, remember, banking systems now are so quick that when they identify something's lost or stolen, it's usually really, really quick. Like it's immediate.
Like you may not have been able to he or she may not be able to actually even make the purchase. That's right, because the
Exactly.
credit card would be flagged or whatever.
But
Anyway, interesting.
interesting.
I don't know about these other Deepak Chopra. Was it Deepak?
Depop. It's more Depop is something that younger kids are selling stuff on, I feel like, and college age and high school kids. But one of my kids has had good luck selling stuff on Depop.
And what was the other one that I don't know?
Mercari.
Okay.
It's an e-commerce website. I've
Guys,
bought
there's so
a couple
many.
of items on Mercari, mostly luxury items that were used.
It would be interesting to know what sets these sites apart from each other. Like if I'm gonna
like do an analysis, maybe I'll do that sometime.
If I'm
you
gonna
guys
sell
want to
something-
hear that, why don't you reach out and let us know, and I would like break it down and tell you what percentage they take and what percentage I get and what the shipping costs are like and how much does it cost to start an account and blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
because
blah.
if I were to open an online store, which platform would I use?
Yeah, that's
And what-
actually a really good question.
Yeah, right in. Also, I don't know if it's just that the people who are, you're into thrifting, but people that I've come to meet like in the last few years, like you and I have known each other a lot longer than that. But I don't know if it's just that I'm coming into contact with people that like to thrift shop, or it's just always been, or it's more as of late that I feel like thrifting has really like
Ramped up.
Yeah, is that just my imagination?
Everything's
or-
become real, like retro's become really popular. 90s core clothing and Y2K has become really trendy. And also, styles repeat. So I feel like it's gotten a new revival, thrifting. And also, I do feel like more so now than ever, clothing is so cheaply manufactured, and
that's
we
what
have,
I was going to say.
and we have so much access with the internet that going thrifting, I think, is a great it's a great activity if you think about it. It's a great social activity. It's something kids can do. You don't have to be over 21 to do it or over 18. You can go at any age. And the other thing is, who doesn't love something that smells like someone else?
Me. But no, also, yeah, I was going to say that as I've gotten older, how many sentences am I going to start with that? Now that I'm older,
As I've gotten younger,
you realize that things are not the retail price, the hike up
is so important.
What is it called?
Is that what you were going to say? The markup?
The markup is incredible.
I know, especially
It's not
luxury
even
items.
worth it.
Japanese eBay, guys. I'm telling you, if you want to find luxury items for a fraction of the cost that are in pristine conditions, you need to head over to Japanese eBay. Okay?
Yep.
You heard it here first and last.
Because the stuff you would buy a dress for $200 does not necessarily mean it's any better
It's
quality.
just a jumping off place.
That you. I personally think you could find something
don't
a
settle
lot
for
cheaper.
less than.
You could find something a lot cheaper, just as cute, probably just as good quality.
Yeah, and you can ask Cheryl. I had these amazing linen barrel jean style pants on that I got at a thrift store. And then I have this Target top on I got for like $2.
So cute.
So
she
there.
looks very cute.
Very cute.
Too bad. You guys are missing out.
Cute patoot.
Missing out on the visual of this. But you can write us and let us know if you'd like to see
That's
pictures.
right. And if you'd like, you can head over to TikTok and check out my Get Ready With Me channel. Anywho, Cheryl, do you have any other updates? Oh, the last thing I was just going to say, life update, is cooking. I have had so much fun lately cooking, and I think it's because I've been cooking for Cheryl.
Aww.
Yeah. I love cooking things
For other people.
And it's fun because I've always told her about like what I was making. And then she would tell me she was eating brown rice with impossible meat, which the reason it's called impossible is because just that sentence is not even something that I can say. It's impossible
Impossible
for
to
me
st-
to imagine her eating brown rice and impossible meat. And so, I would tell her, well, I'm going to make this and this and this. And now she actually gets to
I
try
know.
it.
And we're thinking of showing you her cooking. What do you guys think? Write in.
Do you want to see Cheryl chew the food and dribble it out of her mouth and drool it on the table? And then I spoon it up and feed it to her? Because,
Don't you-
as
isn't
she
that
gets
what you're-
older, she's having problems holding the spoon.
As I get older, I need to be spoon fed.
That's right. Anywho, stay tuned, guys, because we didn't cover travel and weather, and we didn't cover our love lives. So stay tuned for that, because maybe we'll talk about that in our next
Coffee talk.
fruit salad coffee talk. Anywho, if you guys are not cooking something delicious tonight for dinner, or sucking on cough drops or Jolly Ranchers, then it is a crime. But you know what else is a crime?
What's that, Joy?
That we are out of time.
That is a crime. Well, thank you for listening, everyone, and don't complicate your day. All creativity, commentary, and opinions in this podcast belong to Cheryl and Joy. Music composed and mixed by Gabe McKeon. Logo and merch managed by Cheryl Yamaguchi. Podcast editing, advertising, and social media managed by Joy McKeon. Legal representation provided by John Bojezic. Please like, subscribe, follow, and listen. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible.com, Amazon Music, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And remember, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok, or you can email us at murderandeverythingelse@gmail.com.
Bye, fishes.